How's it going? I'm back with a new review, and I am talking about the first two episodes of My Adventures with Superman. And as always, I'm brought to you by my own comic book, Red Knight. It's available in print and digital over at manospublishing.com. You can check out the issues and the trade paperback. So, hey, let's talk about the big guns. And nobody's bigger in superheroes than Superman. And he has had a number of animated series and interpretations over the years, and I am really enjoying this. This was announced a couple of years ago, and there was a point during this whole WB mess that's been going on where we didn't know if this still existed. Like, we only had one picture of the characters, of Lois, like, grabbing Clark and Jimmy in the background, and that was kind of all we had for a good long while. And I'll be honest, I was kind of surprised a few months ago when I heard it was still a go, and pleasantly surprised because the art I was seeing looked pretty interesting. And I really like the peppy kind of like anime, kind of like She-Ra and the Princess of Power kind of vibe I was getting from this art style and this animation. It has some acting. It has some actors I'm not familiar with, but they're doing a pretty good job. Let's see, we have Jack Quaid as Clark Kent. Let's see, if you excuse me, I think it's pronounced, let's see, Ishmael Sahid as Jimmy Olsen, and Alice Lee as Lois Lane. And I'm not familiar with their work, but they're very good in this, and I'll get to that point. Essentially, it's a new young Superman, young Lois and Jimmy, as they're just getting started over at the Daily Planet, pretty much together, although Lois has been there for a little bit longer, but they're all still three interns, therefore they're not getting paid, and they're meant to just do intern stuff, not be reporters. And Lois, of course, is very ambitious in this quest of hers to be, this great reporter, and she insists on reporting on this story that she thinks, like, some stolen giant robots are in the area. And of course, it's a DC universe, so of course there's stolen giant robots somewhere. This, of course, leads them on this job where, of course, things go bad, and Clark Kent has to, like, use his powers to save the day, and he isn't really Superman yet, so he, like, puts on some, like, outfits kind of reminiscent of the hoodie is reminiscent of the Earth 1 graphic novel, the first one anyway. Saves them and kind of keeps that a secret, and then we kind of start building the whole Superman thing from here. We flash back every so often with his childhood and very confused about who he is, and there's this wonderful scene where he discovers the spaceship with his parents. His parents, like, dig it up for him and say, hey, this is where we found you. And he discovers this hologram. Of course, I think that's pretty much the usual thing, a hologram of Jor-El. But this time, he's scarier and speaking Kryptonian. Like, we don't get a translation. He's not speaking English. And he's kind of scary to Clark. And his reaction is very realistic and very believable. Like, he is terrified of this, and he's terrified that he's not their son, he's not human, and it's very heart-wrenching, actually. It's a very emotional moment for me watching that scene, and it's a good explanation as why he isn't really dug too deep into who he is, and now he kind of has to, as things are just coming ahead. And he, of course, gets his costume. I love how they're able to kind of, like, bridge the gap with, like, a lot of modern Superman costuming, where he doesn't have the trunks, and his mom's like, this needs something to break this blue up here. I need to put some trunks on you. And so she doesn't make the whole costume like in the John Byrne days, but like, she makes the trunks, and, it gives it a real human kind of flair to it. So I really like that. And Clark, Superman, gets a Sailor Moon magical girl transformation for the first time, and it's not too long. They don't milk it too much, but it's enough to really get through. And I enjoy it. I almost wish it was a little bit longer, and I don't know, it'd be funny if that was his occasional like transformation. Instead of like trying to like change clothes, like Spider-Man, he's just like doing this. But of course, they're not going to do that, or are they? I don't know. But I do think he is the magical girl we need. Instead of being like the angry guy with laser eyes and roaring and being mad and like doing like hardcore Dragon Ball Z crap all the time, like this interpretation of Superman has been becoming more and more stronger with some fans, and it's really getting away from who Clark is, and what's so appealing about him is that he is this awkward everyman who has all the power in the world. So how does he use it appropriately? How does he use it with his own values, trying to decide on the best ways to like save humanity, and how far should he go without going too far? And that's kind of the problem that Superman has. That's the whole story of Superman. Not like, oh man, he's going to be stronger than this other strong guy. That's not him. That's not the Superman story. And let's see, Jake Quaid. Is it Jake Quaid? I think it's Jake Quaid. Jack Quaid, excuse me. He's really good. The way he can, at one point, be kind of that like all-American hero, and then the next line, he sounds like Tina Belcher. He's like very awkward and very sweet and funny, but has that heroic quality to him. I think Alice Lee's Lois is quite excellent, and yeah, she does have some loose Nocetta qualities, which I think is pretty funny. But it's still in that kind of like cynical / optimistic kind of like balance that Lois has, and you can definitely see why someone like her would kind of fall for a guy like Clark, and she falls for Clark actually, which is a nice kind of like juxtapose as we often normally see. Usually she falls in love with Superman first, and like, hey, who's this Clark guy? He sucks. But no, she has like a nice affinity with Clark. And of course, Jimmy, making Jimmy and Clark friends and roommates at the beginning is a great idea, because it makes Jimmy look less pathetic. It makes him look less like a hang-on teenage sidekick. Then they're actually just friends and roommates, and a little more equals, I think. And I actually think that's a really smart touch. He is a bit of a conspiracy guy, and the thing is, he lives in the DC universe, so all this crap he believes is actually true. There are super intelligent apes and fish people and whatever the hell he was talking about. Like, yeah, all that stuff is in there. They'll probably meet them in this series. So there's a few things. Of course, they're chasing around Livewire, who is starting different in this series than we normally see her, because usually she's this asshole DJ that gets turned into a lightning character, and she's already a criminal at this point. Now, I don't know if we're gonna like go into the backstory where maybe she was a performer that kind of lost it and became a lightning powered person. She does have them already at the beginning of this series, so I'm interested to see if we're gonna dig deeper into that. And the biggest surprise, I didn't see Slade Wilson, Deathstroke, appearing in this show. A younger, cooler, sexier, hotter Deathstroke. And what's interesting is he has the cool, sexy anime dude thing going on with the hair covering one eye. The eye that he's going to lose is Deathstroke, so that's really cool. And they got Chris Purnell to play Deathstroke, which is like surprising casting. And normally you see him do comedy. I don't think I've seen him do drama or action or anything. Like he's done live action and voiceover work at doing comedic performances. Like 30 Rock, and Rick and Morty and Archer and stuff like that. I've never seen him do a character like Deathstroke, and you know what? He's kind of eating it up here. He is quietly menacing, and I really like that in his performance. And of course, it looks like he's working with the government at the end of episode 2. By the way, I neglected to mention that the two-parter is called Adventures of a Normal Man, which I think is hilarious. But I really dug this. I think it had a really good start and really good energy to it. I dig the look of the costume. I think it looks really nice, and I do like the chemistry between among the three. It really does feel like a cohesive group among the three of them this time around, instead of just like, I don't know. Sometimes some writers and creators just forget about Jim. They often forget about Jimmy. Hey, Zack Snyder. Forget about Jimmy completely. And, Lois is like, I don't know, sometimes there and sometimes not. And this actually is really thoughtful. And like, this is about the three of them. And she's kind of a leader, which is kind of funny. She's the leader of the three. It makes kind of the most sense. He's just like the guy with all the superpowers and stuff like that. But that was really a fun start. I really do like this. It's on Adult Swim, and I do wonder. I don't know. There's WB is going through a weird phase right now, so this doesn't strike me as a show that was going to be an Adult Swim show. It doesn't. It feels like kind of an all ages show. A kid can watch this, an adult can watch this. I do feel like this is maybe a last minute change because what they're doing with WB and the network and Cartoon Network and stuff like that. So that's probably what's going on. If we get later seasons, like a season 2, season 3, I would not be surprised. Maybe some of the subject matter gets a little bit more intense and more serious. Probably not all the way, but something a little bit more in lines with adult material. Which, to be honest, I would be welcome. I have been a huge believer in adult animation in the West needs to grow up, and I think this is a chance to do that. And it's weird that kid animation in the West has been more mature than adult animation, and that's been changing the last few years. But let's keep going with it. So, I really dug this. I thought this was a great first 2 episodes. I can't wait for the rest of the season. I'm excited about Superman again. Great. Hey, let's go. I'm going to give the first 2 episodes a very strong 4 out of 5 Ram Chips. And I'm looking forward to the rest of the season. This and Unicorn Warriors Eternal, I think, are just really good stuff right now. And I'm really liking what's coming out of Adult Swim. So, hey, what did you, the viewers at home, what do you think? You can let me know in the comments below whether you agree, disagree, or somewhere in the middle. Don't forget to like, subscribe, hit the notification bell for all things Manos. You can also find me at several locations online. I'm at Instagram, Facebook, Twitter for the moment. I started that new Threads thing that all the kids are talking about these days, so you can find me there, I think. And I'm on TikTok as well in doing the shorter version of this. And you can support me, the Real Manos, and my publishing and the channel just $1 a month over at Patreon. So I think that's it. I think that's all my adventures have for today, and I will be talking to you later. Push the button.